BYD, a giant in China's new energy vehicle industry, previously thrived with strong support from the Chinese authorities. However, with the continuous decline of the Chinese economy, BYD has inevitably entered a period of decline. Moreover, while it marketed itself as using patriotism, the recurring quality issues have sparked strong dissatisfaction among car owners. Look, the BYD Han. What a disastrous day. This is our domestically produced leading new force. The door is plastic and the fenders are plastic too. They fill it in with foam inside. If you ask me what kind of car has a crash beam thin enough to peel an apple, it's the BYD that's been making headlines recently. This domestically produced new energy vehicle, priced at $42,500, has a crash beam only 1 millimeter thick, as thin as sheet metal. It's no exaggeration to say that this crash beam could be used to peel an apple. This cost-cutting has become the norm. The ultra-thin crash beam, coupled with a suspension as thin as chopsticks, malfunctioning seat adjustments, and a load capacity set to the bare minimum. I allow everyone to say that BYD cuts corners. Even so, if BYD is the standard, then all the others are garbage trucks. This is a domestically produced BYD. After 1 year, the steering wheel is like this. Don't buy it. I bought this BYD Chin Plus in 2021 when it was first launched. Now the chassis and engine compartment are rusted through, the doors are rusted, and the A-pillar paint is rusted and bubbling. My current demand is for the manufacturer to replace the entire body. They refuse. They want to cut off the rusted parts and replace only those parts. Let's say this is a 2-year-old car. Is this normal? The engine air filter housing is brittle from the heat. Look at the sound insulation cotton. It crumbles at the touch. This air filter housing will have to wait 7 days here because it's hard to get this part in Xinjiang, especially in Urumqi. This is the domestically produced BYD Chin Plus. Let me explain. It was launched in August 2023 and now it's October 2025. In just over 2 years, it's already starting to rust. This is the quality of domestically produced cars. Look here, just over 2 years, only 2 years, and look here, even more outrageous. The BYD, after more than 2 years of use, is rusted and has holes. There are multiple rust spots on the bottom of the car. This BYD, I really don't dare drive it anymore. It was fine in the city, then suddenly the power was limited. At first it surged forward and backward, and I couldn't brake at all. Then the speed just dropped completely. It was completely paralyzed. Pressing the start button, but no response at all. I can see from the dashboard that my car's battery isn't that low. This piece of junk. Let whoever wants to drive it, drive it. I definitely don't dare drive it. Didn't expect that, did you? I didn't expect that either. This is a BYD Han Champion Edition. I bought it exactly 2 years ago, and now the mileage is over 163,000 kilometers, cause I drive for Didi. Look! This thing is missing. The car costs over $20,000. I had to go to the dealership to replace it. $60 or $80? I forgot. BYD, you really disappoint me. Besides issues like rust, BYD's design flaws also frustrate owners and leave them helpless.
我这个怎么关不了车啦？
Why can't this door be closed?
怎么回事啊？
What's wrong?
奇怪，怎么关不了门呢？
Strange, why can't I close the door?
禁止制动。
Emergency braking. I am right here. Why does the car need to be in emergency braking? Who's been hyping up BYD all this time, bragging how great it is?
大家看一下比亚迪这个白痴的设计。
Everyone look at BYD's idiotic design, making the mudguard part of the door. How uncomfortable.
垃圾比亚迪。
BYD is garbage. I have to curse. For 4 years, who would drive this junk?
谁开呀？后排坐着又颠。
The back seat is bumpy and the space is terrible. Honestly, after 4 years and over 200,000 kilometers, it has every problem imaginable. The chassis is like chopsticks, the suspension rusts easily, and the energy consumption is high. And the price drops so fast. My car has over 200,000 kilometers on it, and I can't even sell it for around $5,550. Many car owners are complaining about BYD cars rusting easily.
叫我别买比亚迪。
I was told not to buy a BYD, but I insisted. Now look what happened. My Song Pro DM non-intelligent driving version, manufactured on January 4th, 2025, and launched on March 1st, 2025, is already rusting in July. The rust is located at a screw connection point on the front subframe. I haven't soaked it in seawater, haven't been in a coastal area with severe salt spray corrosion, and haven't used de-icing agents in the south. The rust is also surrounded by the wheels, chassis, and suspension. It wasn't caused by me scratching it. A female blogger complained that BYD cars don't have heating in the winter. I'm angry. I rode in a car without heating. They didn't even warm it up beforehand. It's not that it can't heat up, it's just that when it gets cold, the car's infotainment system doesn't connect. If it freezes overnight below zero, it won't connect the next day. You can't remotely turn on the heater? What about in the summer? It's fine in the summer. It works in the summer, but in the winter when it's freezing, you can't turn on the heater? That's right. It's cold. I'm afraid of the cold. My feet are freezing. BYD promotes having patriotic sentiments, but its quality is indeed worrying. Netizens have been posting real-life photos of BYD cutting corners. I think BYD really needs to improve. This rear bumper beam is as thin as paper. You should at least equip it with a bumper beam at this level, right? Even if it doesn't reduce the cost much, your monthly sales are increasing, so it's necessary to equip it with a better bumper beam. The second problem is that I only found out the rear interface has rusted after I removed the bumper beam. This area was most likely acid washed after the bumper beam was installed. The acid washing wasn't done properly, and there wasn't any rust proofing or anti-corrosion treatment, which is why it rusted. BYD cars themselves have poor quality, and owners don't feel safe driving them. A BYD Tong sunroof suddenly shattered while driving. Fortunately, the sunshade prevented it from exploding, otherwise the consequences could have been disastrous.
BYD 开始悬挂。
BYD, take a look at the suspension. 1 link, 2 link, 3 link. What's the difference between this and a low-speed electric vehicle? Are the materials used in this car even acceptable? They're incredibly thin. Take it apart. Look at the materials inside. Wait a minute, this is a crash beam? It's so thin, not even as thick as our kitchen knife. The water tank frame is plastic. Look at this is the world-shaking, one-of-a-kind chopstick suspension. See it? It's not even as thick as my finger. This 3-link suspension is worse than a semi-independent suspension. This is the BYD Song Plus, priced at $25,500. May 2025, a car owner purchased a BYD Han L from Guangcheng Sudi Company Limited for $34,004 and subsequently discovered numerous problems, including air bubbles in the instrument panel and door panels, a rattling sound from the plastic panels on both B-pillars. One of the 2 clips under the rear seats is broken without prior notice, rattling and wobbling cup holders in the front and rear center armrests, rattling and wobbling trim strips on the driver and passenger doors, scratches on the interior panels during the installation of the 360-degree all-weather floor mats without prior notice, a crack in the front trunk, the automatic wiper button on the center console display cannot be turned off, the intelligent driving system changed lanes erratically, nearly causing an accident, a rattling wiper lever, a rattling sound when opening and closing the right rear door, the passenger seat automatically adjusting for 2 seconds when starting the vehicle, a rattling and wobbling center console display, a collapse at the junction of the right A-pillar and the roof, the charging sentry recording hundreds of useless videos at night, and the driver's seat changing the saved driving position without reason. From this, we can see that this car, which was purchased not long ago, already has so many problems. It's an undeniable fact that BYD vehicles have numerous problems. On October 17, 2025, BYD announced a recall of 115,783 vehicles, involving 2 batches, the 2015 Tong series and some Yuan Pro pure electric vehicles. The problems include defects in component design and selection, potential malfunctions in the active discharge function of the drive motor controller, which could lead to failure in pure electric drive mode under extreme conditions, and in the manufacturing process the Yuan Pro pure electric vehicles produced between February 2021 and August 2022 had improperly installed power battery sealing gaskets, resulting in reduced sealing performance. There's a saying, voting with your feet. BYD vehicles have many shortcomings and the driving experience isn't great. Therefore, with the continuous decline of the Chinese economy, this naturally leads to a chain reaction of problems, such as inventory backlog and declining sales.
比亚迪今年10月份销量
BYD sales in October this year were 440,000 vehicles, which can be described as a clear decline. I know many BYD fans are not convinced, and let me tell you, I am a BYD fan too. But precisely because I am a BYD fan, I am very dissatisfied with this monthly sales figure of 440,000 vehicles. You should know that BYD sold 500,000 vehicles in the same period last year, and this year it sold 440,000, a decrease of 60,000 vehicles. Moreover, this is with overseas sales reaching 80,000 vehicles per month. In other words, if we only look at domestic monthly sales, BYD sold 100,000 fewer vehicles in October this year than in October last year. BYD's sales decline has even made Chairman Wang Chuanfu unable to sit still. On December 5, 2025, BYD held an extraordinary general meeting of shareholders at its headquarters in Shenzhen. Wang Chuanfu said that BYD's domestic market sales declined this year, partly due to BYD's technological leadership not being as strong as in previous years, and partly because user pain points such as low charging speeds at low temperatures urgently need to be addressed through technological breakthroughs. The reason why even the chairman had to admit the shortcomings of his company's vehicles is that the production and sales data told the truth. In November 2025, BYD sold 480,000 new energy vehicles, a year-on-year decrease of 5.3%, but a month-on-month increase of 8.7%. New energy passenger vehicle sales reached 475,000 units, a year-on-year decrease of 5.8%, but a month-on-month increase of 8.7%. However, excluding overseas sales in November, it can be seen that BYD's domestic sales that month were actually 343,000 units, marking the 7th consecutive month of year-on-year decline. China's electric vehicle industry has historically relied heavily on subsidies and policy support from the Chinese Communist Party, allowing it to continuously boost sales through low-price strategies under conditions of low wages, low rents, and low interest rates. Sun Guoxiang, a full-time professor in the Department of International Affairs and Business at Nanhua University in Taiwan, told overseas Chinese media that on the demand side, the domestic market is nearing saturation. Coupled with declining incomes and insufficient consumer confidence, the Chinese market is finding it difficult to absorb the explosive expansion of production capacity in recent years, driven by subsidies and local government investment. On the supply side, automakers are embroiled in a protracted price war, with many companies losing money the more they sell. This has resulted in most companies, except for a few leading players like BYD, experiencing continuous losses. He pointed out, with the US and Europe launching anti-subsidy investigations, raising tariffs, and strengthening origin requirements, China can no longer rely on exports to absorb excess capacity. leading the overall industry into a phase of both domestic and international stagnation and structural imbalance. On October 30th, 2025, BYD released its third quarter financial report, showing revenue of $27.63 billion, a decrease of approximately 3.05% compared to the same period last year. Net profit attributable to shareholders was $1.108 billion, a staggering 32.6% year-on-year decrease, and net profit excluding non-recurring items was $976 million, a sharp drop of 36.65% year-on-year. This indicates a significant decline in the profitability of BYD's core business. Furthermore, BYD's net cash flow from operating activities in the first 3 quarters of this year was $5.78 billion, a decrease of 27.42% year-on-year. The fact that BYD's cash flow deteriorated faster than its profits suggests an increase in accounts receivable, or problems with inventory backlog and difficulty in collecting payments. This inevitably brings to mind BYD's massive inventory buildup. Regarding its financial structure, data shows that BYD's total assets are currently $127.783 billion, a 15.14% increase from the beginning of the year. Inventory value has reached a staggering $21.68 billion, a 31.83% surge from the start of the year, and construction in progress has reached $6.91 billion, a dramatic 144.51% increase from the beginning of the year, indicating that BYD's production capacity is still expanding on a large scale during the period. Notably, BYD's long-term borrowings have reached $8.67 billion, a 641.1% surge from the beginning of the year. And other current liabilities have also reached $3.075 billion, a 300.18% increase from the beginning of the year. This shows that BYD's debt burden is increasing rapidly. In short, BYD's net profit for the first 3 quarters of this year fell by 30% year-on-year, while its debt had surged several times over. In November 2025, BYD still ranked first in China's new energy vehicle sales with 307,000 units sold, but its year-on-year decline was a staggering 26.5%. Su Dongshu, Secretary General of the China Passenger Car Association, told mainland media that a significant year-end sales decline in the Chinese auto market is rare. With government subsidies for trade-ins being reduced or suspended, coupled with the policy pressure of having the purchase tax on new energy vehicles starting next year, consumers' willingness to buy cars has weakened, or they have simply chosen to postpone their purchases. Although Chinese automakers are currently increasing subsidies and promotions, this is still unlikely to reverse the overall downward trend in new energy vehicle sales. Financial blogger Cold Eye Finance stated, "China's electric vehicle industry has no future. Currently, there's overcapacity, leading to frantic infighting among manufacturers. This infighting results in price wars and cost-cutting, ultimately causing them to continue production at a loss. In this situation, it's a matter of who can hold on the longest. Those who can't will likely go bankrupt soon. Therefore, the wave of bankruptcies in China's electric vehicle industry will accelerate in the future." BYD's previously strong momentum has turned into a clear decline, impacting other industries as well. The sky has fallen. Another 4S store has terminated its lease. BYD gave up 3,600 square meter store in Tongtown. The ceiling height is about 12 meters. This is the front hall area. Let me show you. There's also a car repair area in the back. This is the workshop. The ceiling height is less than 12 meters, 11.69 meters. Such a large 4S store located in Shanghai. Can you imagine how busy it used to be? This store's shutdown indirectly proves that BYD sales are no longer what they used to be. The video subtitles say, "BYD is deserted, everyone has gone out of business." It is worth noting that despite the current severe difficulty in finding work in China, there is still an abnormal phenomenon of a large number of BYD factory employees quitting. That's all for today. If you enjoy our content, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with a friend. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time.